Oh, my magical audience. I want you to listen closely to what I'm about to say, because this isn't a speech of false promises or comforting lies. This is for those of you who have been misunderstood or ignored, for those who have been told time and time again that they aren't enough, that they can't rise above, and for those who have struggled silently with the weight of a world that is constantly telling you that you don't belong. Well, let me tell you something. They weren't ready for someone who knows their worth and owns the spotlight. No one is ready for that kind of power. They weren't ready for you. They weren't ready for someone who doesn't need validation, who doesn't need approval, who doesn't seek permission to exist in their fullest form. You were born to command, born to lead, born to be the very thing they wish they could destroy. But they can't. They can't take that from you. You know why? Because they don't understand it. They can't grasp the magnitude of your presence. They can't fathom what happens when you step into your power fully, unapologetically. They weren't ready for someone who doesn't cower in the face of fear, but looks it in the eye and says, "I'm not afraid of you." The world loves to tell you to play small, to stay in your lane, to wait your turn. But do you know what the world doesn't understand? The world doesn't understand that your lane is the entire universe. Your turn is every single moment, every heartbeat, every breath you take. You don't have to wait. You've already arrived. But here's the thing. They never expected you to arrive like this. They never expected you to walk in your full strength, to stand in your purpose and own every single step you take. They never thought you would look at your life, look at your struggles, look at your scars, and say, "I own this. I own every piece of it, and I own the spotlight." You are the force that they never saw coming, the force they were never prepared for. You see, they didn't expect you to rise. They didn't expect you to fight. They didn't expect you to keep going when the world was trying to bury you. And yet here you are, stronger than ever, standing tall with your head held high. They didn't expect you to outlast the storm, to outshine their doubts, to prove them wrong. They thought you'd break. They thought you'd stay down. They thought you'd be nothing more than a shadow of your potential. But guess what? That's where they made their fatal mistake. You weren't built to be their shadow. You were made to cast your own. And now, as you stand in this moment, as you own your worth, you are a force that no one can contain. You've realized something that they can never understand. You've realized that you don't need anyone's permission to be great. You don't need anyone's approval to stand in your light. You are the sun, and no matter how hard they try to dim your shine, you will burn brighter and brighter, hotter and hotter, until they are forced to watch you rise, forced to watch you conquer. They weren't ready for someone like you, and they never will be. You see, when you start owning your worth, when you start owning your truth, when you start owning your power, people get scared. The people who want to control you, who want to put you in boxes, who want to make you small, they start to panic. They start to realize that they no longer have control over you. They start to realize that their tactics of manipulation, their attempts at keeping you in line, their attempts to tell you that you're not worthy, have failed. And that's when they try to tear you down. That's when they try to silence you. They try to make you feel guilty for being unapologetically you. But you know what? Let them try. Let them talk. Let them whisper their lies. Because you know the truth. You know your worth. You know what you are capable of. And they don't. They weren't ready for someone who knows their worth because they don't know their own. They weren't ready for someone who knows what it feels like to stand in their full glory, to own their scars, to embrace their darkness and turn it into light. They weren't ready for someone who can stare down their insecurities, their self-doubt, their fears and laugh in their face. They weren't ready for someone who can take the worst that life has to offer and turn it into fuel for greatness. They weren't ready for you to rise from the ashes, stronger than ever, ready to conquer the world. But here's the thing, it doesn't matter if they were ready, it doesn't matter if anyone else is ready, because you are. You are ready. You are ready to take up space. You are ready to stand in your truth. You are ready to own your power, your strength, your brilliance. And you don't need anyone's approval to do it. You don't need anyone to tell you that you're worthy. You don't need anyone to tell you that you belong. You already know. And that's the difference. That's what sets you apart from everyone else. You don't need the world to validate you because you validate yourself. You don't need anyone to give you permission because you've already given yourself the green light. You don't need anyone to tell you that you can because you've already decided that you will. That's the power of owning your worth. That's the power of knowing your own value. And that's why they weren't ready for you. You have tapped into a force that is unstoppable. When you know your worth, nothing can stand in your way. The world will try to break you, but it can't. The world will try to push you down, but it can't. The world will try to make you feel small, but it can't. Because you know your worth. You know that you are powerful beyond measure. And when you step into that power, when you own it, when you claim it, the world has no choice but to bow down before you. They weren't ready for someone who owns the spotlight, because the spotlight isn't just a place. It isn't just a stage or a moment in time. The spotlight is a state of mind. The spotlight is a way of being. It is the confidence to walk into any room and know that you belong there. It is the courage to take up space and know that your presence is needed. Your voice is needed. Your energy is needed. The spotlight is for those who understand that they are not just a part of the story, they are the story. And they weren't ready for you to realize that. They weren't ready for you to take center stage. But you did. You stepped into that spotlight and you owned it. And now, my magical audience, you must never look back. Never second guess yourself. Never doubt your worth. Never let anyone tell you that you don't belong in that spotlight. Because you do. You belong there. Not because anyone told you that you do, but because you know it. You know it deep down in your soul. And that is more powerful than any external validation you could ever receive. When you know your worth, when you own your power, when you claim the spotlight as your own, there is nothing that can stop you. Nothing. They weren't ready for you. But guess what? It doesn't matter. Because you were ready for this. You were ready to step into your greatness. You were ready to rise above the doubt, above the fear, above the negativity. You were ready to take the world by storm. And now that you've claimed your space, now that you've owned your truth, now that you've embraced your worth, nothing can ever take that away from you. Nothing can ever stop you. So, stand tall, stand proud, own your worth, own the spotlight, because you were born for this, and they were never ready for you. They didn't know what it would feel like to watch someone like you rise from the ashes, to watch someone who was once underestimated by the very people who should have supported you, now standing in their face with a presence so powerful, so undeniable, that it leaves them breathless. They weren't prepared for someone to break the chains they tried to place on you. They weren't ready for the kind of force that you've become, a force that is unstoppable, that is unbreakable, that doesn't ask for permission. They weren't ready to witness the transformation you underwent, the depth of your growth, the journey you took to finally realize that you are worthy, that you are deserving of everything you desire. And that was their greatest mistake, because in underestimating you, they gave you the most powerful weapon of all. They gave you the freedom to become exactly who you were always meant to be. You see, when people try to control you, when they try to diminish your spirit or place limits on your potential, they only reveal their own weaknesses. The truth is that they never understood you. They never understood your depth, your fire, your resilience. They never understood that the trials they tried to use to break you were actually the stepping stones that would lead you to greatness. Every single moment of hardship, every obstacle, every insult, every rejection, they thought they could use it to tear you down. They thought they could break your spirit, crush your ambition, make you feel insignificant. But they failed to see what they were truly doing. They were feeding your hunger. They were stoking the flames of your determination. They were giving you the strength to rise, to overcome, to become someone they would never be able to touch. And as you stand here today, it's clear that they never saw you coming. They never realized that within you was an unyielding power, an untapped strength that could not be controlled or contained. They didn't understand that the more they tried to suppress you, the more they tried to belittle you, the more they tried to make you feel small, the bigger and brighter your light would shine. They weren't ready for the person who could stand tall in the face of their cruelty, who could rise above their limitations, who could take every blow and turn it into fuel to propel forward. And that's where their downfall lies. You see, when you know your worth, you stop seeking approval. You stop waiting for permission. You stop playing the game by their rules. You create your own rules. You carve your own path. You build your own destiny. And in doing so, you become something that they cannot understand, something that they cannot control, something that terrifies them. They weren't ready for someone who would rise above their judgment, above their fear, above their small-minded limitations. But it doesn't matter, because you were always ready. You were always ready to step into your full power, to step into your worth, to take up the space that was always meant to be yours. But let me tell you this, as you embrace your greatness, as you step into the light, as you claim your place in the spotlight, you will face resistance. There will be those who try to stop you, to distract you, to make you doubt yourself. There will be those who will try to tear you down, to criticize your every move, to tell you that you're not enough, that you're too much, that you should quiet down, shrink, be less than what you are. And you know what? Let them talk. Let them criticize. Let them try to bring you back into the darkness, into the shadows. But you know the truth. You know your worth. You know that no one can take your light from you unless you allow it. And here's the thing that they don't understand. The more they try to stop you, the more they try to dim your light, the more power they give you. The more they expose their fear of your potential, the more they reveal their insecurities. Because the truth is, they are afraid of what you will become. They are afraid of your strength, your resilience, your ability to rise. They are afraid of your willingness to face the world head on, unapologetically, with the full force of your being. They were never ready for someone like you, because someone like you is unstoppable. Someone like you is unbreakable. Someone like you is a force to be reckoned with. But let me remind you of something important. This journey, this rise to greatness, is not an easy one. There will be moments of doubt, moments when the weight of the world feels like too much, moments when you question whether you're truly capable of achieving everything you've set out to do. There will be moments when you want to give up, when you feel tired, when you wonder if it's worth it. And in those moments, remember this: the struggle is part of the journey. It is through the struggle that you will discover your true power. It is in the dark moments when you feel like giving up that you will uncover the light that has been inside you all along. Do not fear the struggle. Embrace it. Do not fear the challenges, the setbacks, the failures, because they are the very things that will mold you, that will sharpen your mind, that will strengthen your soul. They will push you to become something greater, something more resilient, something more powerful than you ever imagined. You will face moments when the world tells you to quit, But in those moments, you must stand taller. In those moments, you must dig deeper. In those moments, you must remind yourself that you were never meant to be ordinary. You were meant for greatness, and nothing, not a single obstacle, not a single person, can stop you from reaching it. They weren't ready for someone who understands this, someone who understands that the pain, the hardships, the failures, the betrayals, all of it is part of the process. They weren't ready for someone who could take everything life throws at them and not just survive, but thrive. They weren't ready for someone who could turn the worst moments into the most powerful lessons. They weren't ready for someone who could walk through fire and come out stronger, more focused, more determined than ever before. But here's the beauty of it all. They never had to be ready. They never had to understand your journey. They never had to approve of your path. Because what matters is that you understand it. What matters is that you know your worth. What matters is that you own your power and that you step into that power with the confidence and courage that they could never possess. And as you continue this journey, as you continue to rise higher and higher, you must remember this. There will always be people who try to tear you down, who try to make you doubt yourself. There will always be those who will try to bring you back to their level, who will try to pull you down to make themselves feel better. But you must remember one thing. You are not their equal. You are not meant to play on their level. You are meant to soar. You are meant to rise above the noise, above the judgment, above the limitations. You are meant to shine, and in doing so, you will inspire others. You will become the example of what it means to know your worth. You will become the living, breathing proof that no matter what the world throws at you, you can rise, you can overcome, you can become everything you are meant to be. And in doing so, you will give others permission to do the same. So, do not dim your light for anyone. Do not shrink to fit into the spaces they try to create for you. Own your space. Own your power. Own your worth. And never let anyone make you feel like you don't deserve to be exactly who you are. They weren't ready for you. But now that you've stepped into your power, now that you've realized your worth, now that you've claimed your place in the spotlight, they will have no choice but to watch. They will have no choice but to witness your rise, your success, your brilliance. They will have no choice but to realize that they were never meant to control you, that they were never meant to keep you small. And that, my friends, is the most beautiful thing of all. Because when you rise, when you step into your power, when you take up the space you were always meant to occupy, you are not just proving them wrong, you are proving yourself right. You are proving that you were always capable. You are proving that you were always worthy. You are proving that you can and you will shine. And they weren't ready for that. But you've always been ready. You've always known that this moment would come. And now that it has, there is nothing that can stop you. You will rise. You will conquer. You will own the spotlight because you were born to. Born to rise above the challenges. Born to conquer the odds. Born to shine brighter than the darkest night. Born to step into your power and own every piece of the world that has tried to make you small. Every single challenge you've faced, every single setback, every single rejection has been a part of this grand journey. A journey that has led you here to this moment of ultimate realization. You were born for this moment, born to take up space, born to rise when others crumble, born to be a force, a presence, a power that cannot be ignored or dismissed. When you look back at the trials you've faced, the battles you've fought, do you see them for what they really were? They weren't obstacles meant to stop you. They were not hurdles meant to break you. They were merely stepping stones, testing your resilience, pushing you to discover just how strong you truly are. Every person who doubted you, every voice that told you you weren't enough, every whisper of insecurity that tried to pull you into despair, They all served a purpose. They were the catalysts that set fire to your spirit, igniting a strength within you that no one could foresee. You see, they weren't just trying to tear you down. They were building you into something unbreakable, something powerful, something that was meant to stand tall and unwavering no matter the storm, because you were born to endure, to face the impossible and make it your reality. You were born to turn every no into a yes, every rejection into fuel, every failure into a lesson. There is no such thing as defeat for someone like you, because you don't define yourself by your setbacks. You define yourself by your ability to rise every single time you fall, to rise every single time someone tries to knock you down. You are made of resilience, made of power, made of something far beyond what others can even comprehend. They never understood what it meant to try to break you, because they didn't understand the strength you possess. They didn't understand that you would take every blow and become stronger. They didn't understand that every setback was only temporary, but your ability to rise was eternal. Now look around you. Look at the space you're standing in, the world you're about to conquer. They thought they could limit you. They thought they could make you feel small. They thought that by putting you down, by ignoring you, by telling you that you weren't enough, that you would stay in the shadows, that you would shrink back into the corner and cower to their expectations. But you didn't. You never did. And now, you stand taller, stronger, more unstoppable than ever before. Because when you truly understand your worth, nothing can hold you back. It's not arrogance that drives you, it's self-belief. It's the quiet, unshakable knowing deep within you that you deserve everything you are about to achieve. It's the knowledge that you have already fought your hardest battles, faced your darkest days, and yet here you are, still standing, still moving forward. They weren't ready for someone who could withstand the storms they tried to create. They weren't ready for someone who could take all their hate, all their negativity, all their disbelief, and turn it into fuel for their growth. But you were born for this, born for this moment, born for this power. And now that you've come into your own, now that you've discovered your strength, now that you've fully embraced your worth, do you think they'll be able to handle it? The truth is, they won't. They never could. They could never have prepared for someone like you. And that's where they made their mistake. That's where they went wrong. They thought you were just another ordinary person, just another face in the crowd. But they couldn't see what you were becoming. They couldn't see that you were going to rise, that you were going to break every limit they tried to impose on you. And now, as you stand here, you can see it. You can see what they couldn't. You were always destined for greatness. The world isn't ready for someone who knows their worth. The world isn't ready for someone who doesn't apologize for being themselves, who doesn't ask for permission to take up space, to demand respect, to command attention. You see, people like you disrupt the status quo. People like you make others uncomfortable. And that's because they are not used to seeing someone who is so self-assured, so confident, so unapologetically in control of their destiny. But it's time. It's time for you to show the world exactly what happens when someone like you finally steps into their full power. The world may not be ready for it, but it's time to give it a front row seat to your greatness. They want to see you fail, don't they? They want to see you fall. They want to see you crumble under pressure. But that's not what's going to happen. What they don't realize is that every time they try to bring you down, they are only setting the stage for your rise. Every insult they throw at you, every judgment they pass on you, every whisper they make behind your back is only adding more fuel to your fire. Every single time they try to knock you down, you're going to rise even higher. And when you rise, they will be forced to watch. They will be forced to witness everything they didn't believe you were capable of, and they won't be able to do anything about it. They won't be able to stop you because they don't have the power. You do. You were born to conquer, not to settle. You were born to lead, not to follow. You were born to break free from the chains of limitation and create your own path, your own destiny. And you've only just begun. As you continue to walk in your truth, as you continue to walk with purpose, you will see the world change in ways you never thought possible. You will see the people who once doubted you start to take notice. You will see those who tried to silence you begin to pay attention. They won't have a choice. They will see you, and they will see what happens when someone truly steps into their power. When someone finally realizes that they are worthy of the spotlight. When someone finally understands that they are more than enough, that they are capable of anything they set their mind to. So, don't hold back. Don't shrink down. Don't apologize for your strength, for your power, for your ambition. Don't let anyone make you feel like you are too much, because you're not. You are exactly what this world needs. You are exactly what this world is afraid of. You are the change, the force, the revolution that they never saw coming. And now, as you stand in the spotlight, as you own every inch of it, you must remember one thing. The world wasn't ready for you, but that doesn't matter. You are always ready. You are always destined to rise. You were born to shine. So stand tall, stand proud, own your worth, own your power, and show the world what happens when someone like you decides to never shrink again. They weren't ready for you, but they don't have to be. You were ready the moment you decided to take control of your destiny. You were ready the moment you chose to stand tall, to rise above, to own your truth. And now that you've taken that step, there's nothing, absolutely nothing, that can stop you. You are born for this, born to lead, born to rise, born to conquer, born to shine, and the world will never be the same again. In the end, remember this: you were born to rise, to stand in your power, and to own every part of your journey. The world may not have been ready for someone like you, but that doesn't matter. You are always ready to claim your place, to step into the spotlight, and to show the world the unstoppable force that you are. Now nothing can hold you back. Your worth is undeniable, your strength unmatched, and your future is yours to conquer. Step forward with confidence, for you are destined for greatness, and the world will witness your brilliance.